why this place is called the Carpentry or the Carpentry shop site. Okay? Why do you think that they call it the Carpentry?
The stones look like the wood.
Okay, the stones looks like the wood. Okay, here I see with the rock. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we can see a beautiful rock over here. It looks like somebody cut it. Okay. Have you seen a carpentry before?
No.
No, never.
No.
Okay, but what is the idea of a carpentry? They want to gain profit, yes? Okay, in order to gain profit, you need to make something useful. Okay, like a cupboard, a kitchen, bedroom, something like that. You know, furniture. Which carpentry will be nonsense and produce something like that? Okay, so the name carpentry comes from a misinterpretation from the word minsara. This is a Hebrew name of the place. What is minsara in Hebrew? Okay, what is it? Saw. Okay, so also in Arabic, the first thing that you think about is to saw, and in Hebrew lenaser is to cut with a saw. Okay, and mostly use it in order to cut wood. You can you use a saw also for metal, but when you're speaking about cutting something with a saw, you're speaking mostly about wood. And because this place is called the Minsara, many Israeli people start to call it the Nagaria, the carpentry. Okay, but actually Minsara in Hebrew, it's not a very common word. Normally we learn about it only at the 3rd grade and then we forget about it. Okay, Minsara is a prism. Okay, what is a prism? Prism is like a cylinder, but instead of 2 circles in 2 of the bases, it has 2 parallel polygons. Okay, over here we've got a hexagon. Yeah. Okay, so and the many prisms over here, the octagonal, triangle, and the pentagonal, many different kind of prisms over here. But eventually, it's called the prism hill. And why this prism were created and how this prism were created. Again, there are 2 explanations. If you looked at the sign on the way here, the sign tells us that there was an intrusion of magma, okay, that didn't manage to break out like the dikes that we saw down there. This intrusion heated the water, the underground water in the sandstone, and the water managed to bake the quartz in the sandstone and create the quartzite. Okay, when it's very, very hot, the material swells, and then eventually the quartzite starts to cool down, and they need to shrink again to the. In order to shrink, you can't shrink a very big layer, and because of that, it started to break into prisms. And because of that, we have so many prisms on the hill. I think they call it the carpentry in English and not the prism hill, because there's another site in the crater which is about 15 kilometers to the north and west over there, that calls the Prism Canyon. Okay, over there you can see basalt prisms. You can see also basalt prisms in the Golan Heights, by the way. The same phenomenon. The basalt cooling down and then break into prisms. So this is the idea. Another explanation of the Prism Hill is connected both to the dike and both to the hills that we saw on the way here. Okay, remember the white hills that we saw? You can see another pile of white hills and gray hills down there. Yeah. Okay, so the other explanations tell us that this dike managed to intrude between the rocks, the sand rock, and not all of it intruded vertically, but some of it managed to intrude between the layers and created a sill. Okay, and this is how sills look like. Okay, and then the sill on the dike started to cool down, and also the quartzite that they baked around them started to cool down and then started to break into prism. It wasn't the end of the story, because what happened to the material in the sill and in the dike? It met the underground water and met all of the oxides, iron oxides in it, and because of that transformed into caudenite, which is much softer. And because of that, when the area eroded, most of the sill and the dike eroded with it, and we were left with the hill of the prisms. Okay, and we can see far away the sill and all of the piles over there. By the way, the people that did these piles are geologists in the 50s. When Mitzpe Ramon started to quarry the minerals of the crater, they did a survey and tried to find out if the kaolinite is good enough for the industry. And because that they made these piles over there, eventually they saw that it doesn't worth it and left it like that. Because of that we have this prism hill over here. By the way, it's a very, very rare phenomenon to see prism hills worldwide. This is one of the only places in the world, and because of that they built the path, the plastic path, and this is the idea. Okay, questions